The New York Stereoscopic Association Stereo Gallery. And now John Zelenka.
First thing, I want to thank Penumbra for hosting us. It's been a wonderful thing, and they're great folks. And pick up a flyer on the way out. You need to be shot and put on a tin type. You really do. I'll thank Jamie for coming up with the idea of the subject of tonight, which is neighborhoods, and editing it, and of course Bill Meredith for participating, and Dave Camo. Then of course Gerald Marks, thank you, and a special thank you to Carlton Bright, who is sponsoring this evening's event. Which brings me to that point. If you know anyone who wants to sponsor an event, it's a great way to get exposure. Won't cost much, and it's going to help us move along. And I'm going to bring you to our website, the 3D NSA website, the New York Stereoscopic Association website. Please go on the site. You can do all this fancy stuff. You can learn about the meetings. We've got a YouTube channel, which we actually have stuff on. Jamie's idea was great. It's called Neighborhoods. Everyone's going to have their own take on it. And it is great to see the world through someone's eyes. It's just phenomenal.
Up first, Dave.
This, I think, is it's on the west side. I used to live in Hell's Kitchen, so this is, you've probably seen this. There's a little poles left over from the old docks. A couple years ago, probably 2011, 2012. I want to say maybe August. This was on Thanksgiving Day around the same time. I guess these women, girls are in the Thanksgiving Day parade, and this is the post office on 32nd and 8th, so they're all fancied up. This was taken using the wide angle attachment of for the Fuji W3, the new view. Now this one's a little weird, but I kept it in anyway because I kind of liked it. So it's an infrared filter, or it's actually two infrared filters on this lens attachment thing. I don't know what's going on in the middle. There's kind of a problem there, and a little light leaked in because you need to really lock it down. But I like that the sky kind of came through with the infrared, so I'd like to do more infrared 3D stuff. And I kept the original color. That's what it came through as. The W3. That's the Brooklyn Bridge, part of a project I'm working on now. It connects Brooklyn to Manhattan. So now we've gone across the bridge, and now we're in Brooklyn, where I moved. So this is Grand Army Plaza, and this one, I kind of like this little kind of freaky woman just staring down at nothing. Everyone's kind of looking around, and then you got a police car in the background. This is at the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens. These next couple are all from there. So this is like mid-July. Everything's blooming and green and happy. I really like to break through with this big palm thing. Looks pretty good in 4K too. I didn't do any post work on this, just color. In fact, I don't even think I used any kind of auto alignment on that one. This one also, maybe this one comes out a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people don't like to just violate it at all, but I think if it's something you're not looking at, then I think it kind of works okay for me. And this is a lotus flower, I guess, or a lotus plant, something. Not a ton to say about it. Kind of wish it was blooming more in the flowers, but it's potential. It represents potential. There's not many reflections. If I could do it again, I'd have something interesting in the reflections. And I think this is the last one. This is the Figment Art Festival over on Governor's Island. This is a couple years ago, before they kind of built up Governor's Island a little bit more. They're doing a lot of kind of funny renovations over there. It's funny that guy's face doesn't look so good if you in different eyes.
And now, Jerry.
Okay, Jerry.
Right. This I took with the 9-inch separation enhancer attachment on my W3. So you're getting a lot of depth. You're gonna see this. I'm on 26th Street, which is my street, and you're looking at a boat on 27th Street, and you're seeing the Intrepid in the past. Whoops, that went too fast. There's a lot to say about it. This was a very grainy image, but you know, we're seeing this at a reduced resolution. We're seeing it at half the resolution of this monitor. So the potential of this monitor is amazing. And this was in low light, and it's a grainy image. I took this after the evening when Brian May spoke. And here's the park near me. And there was a wedding going on, and they were taking photos. And the groom seems to be some kind of entertainer, and he has thrown the bride's bouquet up in the air, and it's flipping, and it's in, I got it at the exact 180 degrees angle, and I snapped it at the right moment. This is a cha-cha taken from the Governor's Island ferry, and you can see all three bridges, and in depth you can see the Brooklyn, the Manhattan, and the Williamsburg. I faked the water, and when I viewed it on my own computer screen, my faking seemed perfect, and here you see it's not. This is Louis Mendez, the famous New York street photographer. And he's the most photographed photographer, and he's using a Crown Graphic camera, and he uses it with a Polaroid back, and for $20 he will take your picture and give you a beautiful Polaroid print. Oh, and here is Martine, who is sitting next to me. This is at Dr. Oliver Sacks' 80th birthday party at the New York Botanical Gardens. The whole Botanical Gardens was taken over for his 80th birthday, and he is a huge 3D fan. And I am just amazed at the quality of the images as we're seeing them now, and knowing that there's even more resolution. And here is Olivia Oben, who has she made it? No, has not made it here, but almost came, and she just happened to be wearing that hat when we passed the famous hat store on Fifth Avenue. I'm just so taken by the image. This is from my One Zen roll. This was shot on Kodachrome, 1979. This is the best roll of film I've ever taken. And look at Mount Sunset. This is Hakone, and the sun is setting behind Mount Fuji in the background. In 1979, when I visited, I had a friend, Hiroko, and you see her hands. So this is in the West Village, and past, present, future. So, and there is someone getting a reading. I am just floored by the quality of, I've never seen these images looking as good as they look on here. Here's Wonder Woman, and this is the store of the Rubin Museum of Art, a wonderful museum on West 17th Street, and you can read that text in the photo, and you can almost read it right here. This is 1983, and I found a signature on the edge of the building in this photo when I zoomed in super close. and it's George, I forgot his last name, who climbed the building.
That's from the top of the World Trade Center, right?
That's the top of the World Trade
was
Center.
Taken from.
Up next, Bill.
To get the technical out of the way, these were all shot with a Fuji W3. They were just thrown into a stereo photo maker, and much to Jerry's chagrin, they were auto-adjusted, although I did tweak a tiny little bit here and there. So if you're talking about your neighborhood, where better to start than your hallway? So this is my hallway at 86th Street, and there's a little bit of depth in there. That's so you don't bump into anybody coming around the corner. And this is a view from the window. It's not so much 3D, but I really did like the spread of the colors and the Hudson River, and you can see there had been quite a bit of a storm, and the front had moved off over New Jersey and left New York with this lovely pastel. So we've gone from inside to outside. So now, up along the Hudson River, along Riverside Park, there are a number of people that they find driftwood, or they find just the stuff the detritus that floats in on the Hudson, and they use it to make various sculptures and artwork and stuff. So I was walking up along there one day, and I saw this wonderful, I don't know quite if they cemented it in place or how they did it. They might have taken a long time to get it like that, but I just found that fascinating. And this is, again, Riverside Park. It's a very wonderful place. If you've not walked around there, you should definitely get into the area. On the right are the Trump Towers, and then this is just a nice, restful area that people come and they have some picnics, or they read, or I guess these days everybody texts. So this I call Red Chillin'. In keeping with Dave's theme, this is actually the Jacqueline Onassis Reservoir in Central Park, and this is looking south, obviously, and there's the jet of water there, kind of the right third, and then this is obviously fall, so the foliage is changing a little bit into those lovely autumn colors. And also in Central Park, the mother is a little off there, but I just thought that this was such a typical, the child sees what is wonderful, and mom says, get out of there, you're gonna die. So, a typical parenting photograph, I felt. And this is around Lincoln Center. I think she must go to Juilliard, because I have to say, she played an amazing concerto. This was at a period of time when they were putting pianos around the city, and anyone could just come along at various points in time during the day when they were unlocked. You see the lock on the side, but they would open them up, and anybody could just come and play whatever they wanted to play. But she was just absolutely amazing, just incredible. The next few here are after the event called Hurricane Sandy. So if you notice, it says, yes, we are open. There were a number of places that had lost electricity and had other problems, but this was on Amsterdam Avenue, and I just thought that it was in keeping with Halloween. I know, I don't know how many people know who the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is from Ghostbusters, but that was hanging out there, and this is keeping in that Halloween theme. On 87th Street, a lot of people, actually almost the whole street decorates their, the steps and the downstairs and the upstairs and the trees, and it just, the entire street is really wonderful. So next Halloween, you should definitely come up to 87th Street and see the decorations. This is another rather typical kind of a decoration and political statement. This was again right after Hurricane Sandy. Fortunately, we didn't have so much bad luck with it up in our neighborhood, but I know a lot of other people did, and then there were some people who thought that the government shouldn't be helping out people, that they should be, going to their neighbors and their state senators. So abolish FEMA. And this is on 86th Street after a snowstorm. Because they tend to clean the sidewalks pretty quickly. It's always a nice thing. So when you got a little puppy like that, you can take it out for a walk and not have to lose it in the snow. And this time of year, they decorate the all of the awnings with those kind of icicle tree lights. So it just makes for a beautiful, beautiful street. For me, what started it all, for Jamie and I, we used a couple of Canon TX1s, mounted them together, and then there was a kind of firmware hack that you could use that would trigger them simultaneously. So you could take stills or you could take videos. So Jamie and myself and Susan, we went to the Mermaid Parade out in Coney Island, and we shot the Mermaid Parade. So this is my neighborhood from my roof, and here's Jamie.
Okay, we're going to do a little tour through the East Village. This is right on my street, or this is Avenue B. And I just love colorful signs, so I'm always stopping and taking a picture of them. Now this is over on Avenue C. This is a wall mural dedicated to Gil Scott-Heron, singer, who died a few years ago. And I always liked his music, and then that popped up right after he died, and it's very colorful. And as it says, the revolution will not be televised. Okay, this is on St. Mark's. This is the Holiday Cocktail Lounge, which, believe it or not, I walk by this almost every day. It looks like they are renovating it, and it's probably going to reopen soon. So I see construction guys in there every morning. They've gotten rid of that spray paint graffiti there, so that's gone. I'll keep you posted. This is when Jerry Marks was in my neighborhood. I took a picture of his car while he was parked in front of the sushi lounge. But yeah, this, I just loved all the yellow, so I actually shot it. I went on the other side and shot a reverse of it where there were a bunch of cabs, but this one was better, I thought. The sushi lounge is not there anymore. It moved down the block into a much smaller place, and now there's a Mexican restaurant there. This is the Lakeside Lounge, a little bit of a mind trip with the mirror and the reflection, but once your eyes settle in, you can sort of see the street. Of course, yeah, this is another lost place. It's now a fancy, velvet rope kind of lounge. So we East Village regulars don't go there anymore.
What is the address?
It's Avenue B and 10th Street. This is call this one Schwinn. It's the bike on the right is the Schwinn. The other thing about these, I divided all my shots into shots with a lot of people and shots with really no people, and decided to go with the no people. So, but there are really people in East Village sometimes. And this one's dedicated to my friend Bill. He used to go to Gem Spa a lot, the best egg creams in New York. This was shot a couple years ago. This will be my last one. The good old Con Ed plant that failed us in Superstorm Sandy, but working fine that day. This was shot last winter. I always try to go out when it's this cold and try to get all that steam coming out, although by the time I got over there, a lot of the smokestacks had stopped. And that's the East Village. And once again, John.
Okay, this is my neighborhood. This is my backyard. Let's see, that's a 3.8 meter satellite antenna on the side of my house. And there's the bird feeder, and there's the bunnies. That's a little bunny cage on the left-hand side. That's about what it looks like now, but this is maybe a year or two ago. I was born and raised in Manhattan, so this is where I am now. And I'm going to take you on a ride that I usually take with my motorcycle. I've distilled it over the last 15 years. This is not where I go with my motorcycle. This is a place called the Little Red Schoolhouse, which is about a half a mile from my house. And it's been around since the 1890s. Those are the original desks. And just for tragic reasons, they can't fund it, so it closed about 3 weeks ago. There are records there that are incredible. I was able to look back over 100 years at maps. There are stereo cards in there. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that lectured there worked at King Films here in New York. And he just, he's in his 90s, he just passed away a few weeks ago. Okay, this is what I do. This is called Oil City Road. I ride by this all the time, and it's quite interesting. It A little bit further up the road is a preserve. People come there all the time to look at birds, and many times as I'm riding along on the bike, I'll stop and move a turtle because they just have bad luck crossing the road. This would be in near Warwick, New York. As I say, this is a ride I distilled over like 15 years of just randomly riding and finding cool places to go. This is the black dirt region of New York. That dirt is, it's nutrient rich, and you've definitely, if you've eaten in a restaurant, if you've eaten anything, you've eaten it from, you've eaten it from, it's somehow showed up from there. This is another part of my ride, Rosemoro Road. I just pick the roads on a map and then I find them, and if I like them, I keep going down. The road extends along the right-hand side. It's a wonderful little ride down that hill, looking at this beautiful vista. And I'm usually never going, let me tell you something. The delivery guys on the bicycles in the city ride faster than I ride that motorcycle down these roads. I might be doing 25, 30 miles an hour, just taking it all in. This would be about the northern coast. See, he knows I'm a vegetarian, so he can get close. And there's the stuff up. I see more cows than cars on this ride. There's very few stop signs. It's a very relaxing ride. I usually do it on Friday afternoons all through the summer while I go to pick up fresh fruits and vegetables and stack them on the motorcycle. I take everything off that's not necessary out of the saddlebags and pack in fruit and vegetables for the week. This is the farm. This is the turnaround point for me. I stop at this beautiful farm where they have fresh ice cream. And this is by Route 23. Coincidentally, it turned out a good friend of mine lived up the road. He lives up the road, who is a guitar builder. He's knew Les Paul for 40 years, actually drove him in all the time, did his sound, and probably knew Les Paul better than anybody. I used to go to his place, and I built a acoustic guitar, because he also is a luthier and a virtuoso guitar player. This is where I sit. It's that same farm. I asked the girls, why, the beautiful young farm girls there, why is that corn different? So that's the cow corn. And what they do is they chop holes in it during the, August, and let people run through as a maze. And my friend lives right up on that right-hand side of the road. And this is another shot. You can see the umbrella up on the left-hand side. That little path is where these girls, and it's been, again, growing up in New York, my whole relationship with flowers is you went to the florist and they took them out of the refrigerator. I've seen these girls walk down that lane, make a bouquet, and that's how they sell the bouquets. They literally just walk that's bouquet flowers. Those are bouquet flowers that they freshly make and lay out on the farm stand. What looks like a crucifix back there is just a handle on I'm still at the same farm, is actually a handle on a wheelbarrow, a wagon. But they are very religious people, because when I get the honey or jam that they make, it'll always have scripture written on some part of the scripture. But here's the thing. There are no atheist farmers, I'm telling you that. You're counting on the rain and the seed. You're just not going, it's just happening. No, oops, there I go again, sorry. Okay, they call that motorcycle is a Beamer. The cars are called Bimmers, that's how it works. And Beamer Road is right behind that farm. I generally take that. That symbol on the back of my motorcycle right there, I put on, that you'll see on the right-hand side. Here's the caption for this. Nice set of horns on that bull. But that little symbol on the back was what they call nose art on the first aircraft that bombed Afghanistan after the 9/11. That's like, I had it taken off and put on the side of the motorcycle. This got me across the United States. I rode Route 66 with that motorcycle from New York to Chicago, and the same thing, probably 35 miles an hour. Now this is what I call solar energy. You could smell the energy coming off this. It's absolutely beautiful, and it relaxes me no end. It allows me to be as energetic as I am. That is probably Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Pennsylvania border in the distance. Over those mountains would be PA. So it'd be like the northwest section of New Jersey. Again, you see these vistas. They're quite beautiful. And if you look really closely, I can't see it from here, but you could see like something floating in the road. It was probably either an insect or something. I think it's right by that grain thing, but you can just see it. That's the beauty of 3D. It breaks camouflage. Of course, the license plate is laser. This little pizza place is in Unionville. I get ice cream at the farm stand. I stop here. This is the entire sidewalk in the town of Unionville. It's a pizza place owned by these Ecuadorians that saved their money, bought this place. They make great pizza, New York style pizza. And let me tell you, however cynical you may be, believe me, those guys, when they hang that flag out, they really mean it. That's a killer drone I've been having some fun with. That's behind my house. Now I've returned home. This is there's a school across from where I live, and that's the top of the hill, probably this last September. It was fun to let that thing sit there. Well, you see, you got to realize I'm controlling that while trying to get a picture taken. And that was last year. My wife probably did that because if I did, it wouldn't look like that. But it's such a perfect little heart. What more can you say about snow? Was it? Fuji camera. Fuji. These were all shot with the Fuji, with the Fuji W3. Ah, look at these guys. Would you get on a subway train if you saw these guys? Then you'd wait for the next train. And there's that giant cannon of a slide projector, which is dear to our hearts, which we'll still be using even though this thing does a pretty doggone good job of doing some nice 3D. The new 4K screen. Hey, and there's our logo.
Join us here next time for another episode of Stereo Gallery, presented by the New York Stereoscopic Association.